Hello, Facebook. Hi, everyone who's joining on Instagram this week. Welcome to another weekly Spark. Today, we are talking about the 4 essentials for a successful and sustainable New Year's change. 2020 was what it was, and some of you are looking to 2021 as an opportunity and a space to create real change and to create different change than what has come before because 2020 was such a shakeup. And so today, I am here to teach you, if you are interested, to create a change that not only takes place in 2021 and not only is stated on January 1st of 2021, but is sustainable throughout the year and sustainable throughout your lifetime. And that's because today we are walking through 4 essentials that cover the holistic view of what is necessary for an effective change, for effective goal attainment, and for goal attainment that matters, that you actually care about. So once you arrive at that goal on December 31st, 2021, or as you feel that goal building over time, it's one that continues to ignite your fire. It's one that continues to resonate with you and with what matters to you, your values, and therefore it feels even better on the other side rather than just checking another box. So just like Ajit, I wanted to share his testimonial. He shared after one coaching session with me, I cannot believe how long lasting this change was. He says, to this day, I can easily recall that feeling of being highly self-efficacious and not fearful of the ifs and buts of what lies ahead on my journey to achieve my goals in life. Not fearful of the ifs and buts of what lie ahead on my goals, on my journey to achieve my goals. We all know that there are going to be some ifs and buts. There are going to be some unexpected turns for us. We learned that lesson many times over in 2020. And so not only are these four essentials that I'm teaching you today helpful in creating this successful change in the sense that it covers a wide breadth of the things that you have to consider when setting goals and going after those goals. But also it adds into the mix what happens when our plans don't go according to plan, because that's one thing that we can guarantee is that our plans probably are not going to go according to plan. So here we go. The 4 essentials that I'm talking about and diving into today. Distinguish why. Number 1. Be smart. Number 2, have an accountability buddy. Number 3, and gremlin action plan. And if you apply these 4 essentials in setting your New Year's intention, your New Year's goal, your annual intention, whatever you want to call it, then you will have a sustainable model to make real change in 2021. Very exciting. Let's dive into it. And before we do, a little seed to plant that at the end of today's Weekly Spark, I am giving you an offer that is going away on Saturday. So stick around, or if you're watching the replay and you leave before the end of the video for whatever reason, but make sure to stick around. All 4 are very important parts of this puzzle. Fast forward to the end and see what this is. And it's going away Saturday, January 2nd. So make sure you do that. Take action if you're interested before that time. Okay, number 1, distinguish why. Why is this goal important? This is one of the 4 essential components because without this, we don't have motivation, real motivation, and we're at risk for creating goals that don't matter. So in my group coaching program, with my one-on-one clients, I consistently pull us back to the individual and to your own passion, desire, and intention that makes sense to you and that is in alignment with your values and your desires in life, because that looks different person to person. So if we, for instance, are a business owner, I'll use myself as an example. If I were to look at someone I really idolize, I really admire as a business owner and just adopt the exact goals or the exact New Year's resolution, the exact intention that this other person is adopting, even if I admire them, even if I like where they're going in life, and I don't have a why, my only why might be, well, because I like how this person's life is turning out and I want it to be like that. It doesn't have there's no foundation there for me to stand on, especially when times get challenging. But even in the celebration, right? What am I celebrating? Another box checked. And we don't want that to be the feeling. We want to have the feeling of, I'm celebrating this because this is what I have deeply, deeply longed for and desired. And I know with confidence that this is taking me forward toward my ideal life and my most full expression of what that life looks like and what my values are enacted and implemented and prioritized in this life. So to get clear on this why, to get clear on why you desire to make this commitment and change, think of a few of these questions. One, what do you believe this will add to your life? So allow this to be an open-ended question and allow yourself to come up with answers that might throw your goal off track for a moment, right? So maybe you're saying, okay, well, I think this will, give me happiness or contentment or success, right? And then dig it a little deeper and ask yourself, is that true? Is it true that that specific goal, that specific intention, that specific New Year's resolution will give you that thing? And for a moment, it may feel a little jolting because potentially it doesn't. And if that's the case, that's okay. You're not off course. Just take the thing that you desire and create a new goal that does feel in alignment with that, a new New Year's resolution or intention or annual focus that does feel in alignment with the why. So this is why this why is so important, because it gets at the root of what are we actually going after? Why do we actually want to make this change? And ensure that our thing, our statement, what we're pursuing actually helps us to get there. Very important, right? But a step that a lot of us don't take. Also consider how this experience, what your life was like before creating this change. So how will this experience impact your life? Lay out what it was like before or what it's like right now without this thing that you're pursuing, and really feel what that feels like, so that when life gets hard or when a twist comes on your journey, you can say, okay, but I don't want to go back to whatever that other thing was, right? I don't want to go back to what used to be. And you've had that really tangible and savored inside of yourself to have, again, the motivation and the idea of why this is important, not only for where it's taking you, but also for where you don't want to remain. And that's not to say that where you were is bad or wrong, right? It all has a part in our journey, but you do have this sense of, I don't want to remain here in this place, in this way, or for any longer, right? And to savor that and to know what that thing is that you're moving away from also adds in the momentum and the motivation to create that change toward what you desire. And then just to further emphasize why this is important is to savor what you think it will feel like once you achieve it, to create it in your present reality so that you can, it's tangible and you know what it feels like, you can taste it, so that as you're pursuing this, as you're going through the day-to-day actions that aren't always exciting, that aren't always easy, you have the thing to grab onto and say, yeah, but it's going to be so, so sweet once I get there. So that is step one, is to distinguish why. Again, what do I think this will add to my life, to really clarify and ensure that the thing that you are pursuing is getting at your main motivation and allowing yourself to shift that if needed. Asking yourself, what is your current reality? What do you no longer want? So you have that as motivation to move forward, to make a change, and then taste what's coming, again, to create that momentum, to create that why the challenges and showing up every single day, time after time, is important to you. All right, moving on to number 2, the second essential is to be smart. You have probably heard of SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. The five letters of the SMART. And you can shift this. You don't have to follow this exactly. Some people are very resistant to the idea of SMART goals. But what I want to emphasize is just to ensure that you know exactly what this change is. Similar to the why, when we really savored what we're going after, what we're going away from, and why it matters. Right now, we're really savoring and we're pulling out all the juice of what exactly this change is, so that you can say, yes, I have done this, or no, I have not. And not just in terms of quantifying, right? It's not just to say, although this is one part of it, instead of saying, I'm going to go to the gym, say, I will go to the YMCA 2 times a week for at least 15 minutes, right? Whatever it is, it's very specific and you've quantified that goal. That is very important. But also a layer deeper here is to check in with what you set the foundation for in the first essential of why, to ensure that it is actually helping you on your journey. So it's not just about going to the gym 2 times a day, at least 15 minutes, right? It's about Probably. It's about that feeling that you want once you do that thing, right? So that I feel energized, so that I am healthier for my kids, so that I can show up in a more lively way for my business or my work or my partner, right? Have that so that the definition, the clarification, the detail of this SMART goal, so that you have the check-in not only of, okay, have I done this thing or not in terms of quantity, in terms of numbers, something that you can say yes or no to, but also, again, is this getting at my desire? Is this getting at my why? And have something in the SMART goal, in your detailed goal, that helps you stay accountable to that as well. So that when change happens, like we know it will in 2020, or we experienced in 2020, that you can say, okay, this isn't actually helping me be more energized. Like this isn't actually getting at the why. And you can recognize that in week 1, month 2, whatever it is, not at the end of this whole pursuit. And you can say, I don't think this is making the change that I wanted to make. I don't think this is having the impact I wanted this goal to have in my life. And therefore, I'm going to shift it slightly, not abandon the goal, not abandon the intention, but shift how you're showing up for it. Because the how is adaptable. The how you can change all day. It's the intention, it's the goal, it's what you're pursuing, it's the change you're desiring, it's the feeling that you're going after. That's the thing that stays as your center point. The how doesn't really matter. So allow that to change. And in setting a SMART goal, or rather just a detailed goal that includes accountability to your why that you set up in the first essential, that will help you be adaptive without losing focus on what you're going after. All right. Third essential, have an accountability buddy. This is just more fun to have someone who's in your life to keep you accountable to what you desire, and have this kind of accountability buddy in whatever level that you want to have this accountability buddy at. So this could just be a person that goes to the gym with you every day. Gym is a very common one, but let's say that journals with you every morning, right? Or that meditates with you once a week. So you have someone that is in this with you, and they don't necessarily have to know your why. They don't necessarily have to know your actual goal, or, that deep desire, that longing desire within you. However, that's also another layer that you could add if you feel comfortable and if you feel like you're in this space, to have an accountability buddy at that level. Because then not only are you staying accountable and keeping each other accountable to the action, but also, again, to the why, to have another check-in to say, is this actually helping me to pursue what I want? An example, for instance, if I had a goal to be more present with my family throughout the year, and I created a really detailed, SMART goal to spend a certain amount of time with them so that I connect with them more, and I might be a little bit blind that maybe that very strict, rigid structure isn't actually fostering connection. And potentially, as blind spots go, that might be a blind spot that I don't see, that I'm not connecting. I'm not actually achieving my goal. I just think, okay, yes, I'm checking the boxes, I'm doing the thing. And sometimes we can get lost in that. And so having an accountability buddy that not only shows up with you to play games with your family, right? Not only does the action, but also can say, hey, Marin, I think that this goal isn't necessarily doing the thing that you said that it was going to do. And can we check in and see if this is actually happening for you? This layer of accountability is what happens inside my group coaching program, because we are connecting at a deep layer rather than just showing up and saying, did you do the practice this week? But we're showing up and questioning each other in a supportive way to say, okay, yes, but what about what you said last week? Or I think there might be a blind spot there, and to help guide us through our junk, really, our junk that sometimes gets in the way, and help us achieve what we truly desire, right? What we're actually going after, rather than just, again, checking the boxes. All right, number 4, gremlin action plan. So gremlins, I learned this phrase from Kobe Kozlowski, my first life coach mentor, and gremlin action plan was also introduced when I went through my life coach certification. Gremlins are the voices in our minds, the thoughts, the beliefs, the stories that hinder us from our goals for whatever reason. This doesn't mean that they're bad or wrong. This doesn't mean that we, don't have to listen to them at all. In fact, I like to assume that they're well-intentioned. These voices of fear and of doubt are well-intentioned. They're just trying to keep us safe. They're just trying to keep what is it to be, to remain, right? They don't want to rock the boat. However, if you are making change, the boat is going to rock. If you are making change in 2021, life is going to look different than 2020. Life is going to look different than it ever has before. And these gremlins are probably going to get fired up. So right away, when you're setting your New Year's intention, your annual goal, your resolution, think about, proactively consider, what are your gremlins that will probably get fired up, that will probably get triggered when you're making these changes. And right away, build a relationship with them. So say, okay, I know that when I start going toward this bigger financial goal, the gremlin of guilt or of not being worthy enough to make this amount of money is going to get fired up. I can already anticipate that because I've seen it in my past, or because I've done some work in this area already, and I just know that it's probably going to be there. If you can already anticipate that, then set yourself up for building a relationship or having a plan beforehand, so that when that happens, it's not jolting. When that happens, it doesn't derail everything that you've been working toward. Rather, you can say, oh, there you are. I knew you'd come. I have a spot at the table for you. Let's chat. This is, I'm driving the bus. This is what's going on. I knew you would come. And here's what's going on. Here's how I'm going to keep you feeling safe and secure, because I know that's what your desire is anyway. And we're still going to pursue this goal that I have, because this is, I'm not changing this, right? This is a non-negotiable. This may look like putting tennis shoes by your door so that you get outside for that walk every day, right? If your gremlin will come up and say, oh, it's too hard, I don't have time, make all of that as easy as possible, right? You've probably heard this in a lot of habit building methods and books and formats. So that's one way of gremlin action planning. It's also having that relationship. It's also getting to know and being self-aware to know what's going to come up, and not only building that relationship, having this plan, but also normalizing it, so that when it comes up, it's not, again, jolting, and it's not a sign. It doesn't inadvertently, or what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't create a disguise that something is wrong when actually nothing is wrong, right? So something might come up, a fear might come up. You might actually feel really scared of something, some part of this journey throughout 2021. And historically, without a gremlin action plan, without right away taking the time to anticipate some of these things, you may go into, and it's very human to go into this feeling of, oh, something's wrong. I've done something wrong. I've gone off track. This is too much. I need to abandon ship, right? Because that's human, because it's human to do that. And so instead, when we gremlin action plan, when we do this right at the beginning, when that happens, we can say, okay, yeah, I do feel fear. And I think I anticipated this type of fear. This is probably what's going on. Can I be in a relationship with this? Can I learn more about this? Can I at least live in the question, live in the curiosity about why this is coming up and what's important about this perspective, while still pursuing the goal that feels very aligned, because I've done all the other steps with who I am and what I desire and where I'm going in 2021. So anticipate your roadblocks and build a plan to get there. Those are the 4 essentials to creating a sustainable and successful New Year's change, whether that's a resolution, a goal, an intention for 2021. Create a system, create a reflection, create at least a little bit of space for each of these 4 things in your life when you're setting this, and then that you can revisit throughout the year. Distinguish why, be smart, have an accountability buddy, and gremlin action plan. If you're wanting more, if you're wanting that accountability buddy, if you're wanting this in even more of a step-by-step process where I'm holding space, not to give you the answers, but to give you the questions for you to hear your own answers, that is what the Yes and Experience is all about. And this is the deal for you that ends Saturday evening of this week, January 2nd. So my Yes and Experience, my group membership program, takes different alignment challenges every single month, and I walk you through a step-by-step process to get curious, to get intentional about these different areas in your life, and to take action to align these areas of your life with greater authenticity, with greater alignment with your desires, your values, your unique fears and gremlins, and your unique circumstances. And it's in this incredible community space that is so supportive, that is so constructive, and that really challenges each other in the most beneficial way. In January, we are taking intentional action in 2021. That is the topic for January. And so I'm going to walk you through from the first week of clearing out the clutter from 2020 to the second week of really getting intentional about what is it that you desire. When you align yourself, when you come to that centered point, which will help you get there, what comes up and what do you truly desire? From there, we're doing a lot of what I talked about today, but implementing it in a deeper, more true and held space. So we're getting that intention, we're savoring it, we're distinguishing what it is we're actually pursuing, right? Getting under the why, setting that SMART goal really clearly and really detailed. And then we're already taking action as a community in January so that you feel the momentum of working toward your goal, again, in a way that is sustainable over time. So we're taking January to clarify all of these intentions and the action steps that you are going to take throughout 2021. And throughout 2021, it doesn't end at the end of January. And that's what makes this membership program so amazing, because we then build upon all of these challenges month by month by month, although there is no commitment. So if you just want to come in for January, set your intentional action for 2021 and then head out and pursue it on your own, by all means, go for it. The deal is that prices are increasing as of January 3rd, 2021. So I'm giving you a few days in the new year to take action and to join this community. Again, there's no obligation, so try it for a month. You can start for as little as $19, which is insane, to get all of the practices, the weekly intentions, the weekly videos, or if you want that community space, weekly group coaching calls, then join the full experience. That's the mid-tier. That's where most individuals land. And that creates this community of support, again, for structured questions, for a deeper dive, and for that weekly accountability with every monthly challenge to really hold the space for us to not only learn about these things, not only reflect, but to take action and hold each other to it in a really supportive, compassionate way. This is all about sustainability and simplicity. If you're interested, then head over to yesandbymarin.com/experience. This deal ends on January 2nd, and you must join by January 2nd if you want to get involved in the Take Intentional Action in 2021 challenge. That's all throughout January. So you have a deadline. Go explore. One of my clients, Elise, said that if you are even a little bit curious, you owe it to yourself to at least check it out. There's no obligation when you head to the webpage. So at least check it out if you're interested. And I just want to share a little bit from community members so that you get a taste of who is inside this community and how incredible the impact is of showing up in this way, in the sustainable, supportive environment. Annie, a full experience member, she shares, Marin is a great leader and provides great moderation. With the energy, the group participation, and Marin's reflection, momentum and magic is happening. True magic. I see it every single week. Angie shared, I have been putting my dream on the back burner, mainly out of fear, but I am stepping out and doing it afraid. It's making me think and generating the energy that I can do this, and I won't always be stuck where I am. She is feeling that momentum. She is showing up for a dream that she has had for a long time, and she's finally saying, you know what? I'm still afraid, as I always have been, but I'm going to show up and do it anyway. And lastly, Maddie shares, I am so grateful for the opportunity to join a group of people who I have never met and already feel so welcomed. Every new member that comes into this experience has said the same, that the community is so welcoming. And again, we're supporting each other and holding each other accountable. So we're not letting each other just like slip by and let our intentions go for 2021 and not holding ourselves accountable to the values that we declared in one of our weekly calls. But that doesn't mean that we can't be supportive and compassionate. In fact, as positive psychology research suggests, self-compassion is one of the biggest motivators and one of the biggest predictors of goal attainment. So make sure that you're also loving yourself and loving each other as we set intentions for 2021. Again, if you're curious, January 2nd is the deadline to join January's Experience Challenge. Take intentional action in 2021, and you can check it out at yesandbymarin.com/experience. To summarize today's video, again, make sure that as you are setting your New Year's resolution, your intention for the year, your goals for the year, distinguish why, be smart, have an accountability buddy, and gremlin action plan. If you have questions, comment below wherever you're watching this. This is always reposted on YouTube and on the YesAnd blog at yesandbymarin.com/blog. And I will be here next Tuesday for another weekly spark every Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m. Have a wonderful rest of your week and see you soon.